Yes, Jatish mentioned that I've been working for software and IT companies for last 16 plus years. Specifically, all my experience into Microsoft technologies. So yeah, as you mentioned, I started my career as a developer and module lead, project lead, technical manager. Right now, I'm associate vice president of Quintelli Technologies in Hyderabad. So I've been sailing through all the shoes of different roles across my experience and my career. And here I would like to give some brief about cloud technologies and how the career path is going to be there in the cloud. And coming to my experience, I was working for Microsoft for 2.5 years, Redmond, Seattle, main branch one, and I worked in Oxford University Press in London for 1.5 year. And yeah, rest of the time I spent in India with Value Labs and currently working for Kentucky. And so today, before jumping into this direct session, so I would like to quickly address some of the apprehensions and speculations that are coming across to students for some time. So I will quickly clear some of them. Then you can understand how the industry and where we are going towards. So I've been hearing that due to this pandemic, there are a lot of layoffs are happening and a lot of businesses are closing, and recession has been impacting very hard, and a lot of people are losing their jobs. So at certain extent, it is true, but there is a lot of scope for opportunities in terms of IT. So if you look into other different domains like airlines, restaurant, hospitality, hotels, tourism, entertainment, everything is shut, dead shut. That means they already almost they're like 80% of their workforce has been laid off, and there are a lot of trembling in that specific domains. But when we compare the same thing in our industry, which is into IT, which is really going really well. Um, just a second. Sorry, guys. My kids are homeschooling, so they are good. They are having tough time listening to the classes. So I'm just trying to implement that. So, coming back to subject. So, there is a lot of digital transformation happening in across all different uh, domains. For example, schools. Till now, schools are always physical, and there was never a class was online. But if you look into the current pandemic situation, a lot of the industries has been moving towards virtual classes, virtual trainings, and virtual conferences. Everything has been getting into transforming. So earlier, a lot of other business has been transformed. As you know, there the publishing industry, books. Earlier, there used to be books. A lot of printing has to be done, and lot of magazines they used to ship directly, and the logistics. Everything used to be done physically. They used to print. They used to have machinery. They used to have labor, and everything is being converted into e-learning industry where you don't need to buy the books, where you can get the directly PDFs and other different kind of e-material. So the entire industry has been transformed. Similarly, there are a lot of other industries, like even right now if you look into current scenario, the entire movie industry. Earlier we used to see the films in the theater, and we used to watch the films either in the CDs or something else. But the entire film industry is kind of moving towards the digital technology, and they used to, I mean, we all know that how they used to watch the movies in the films, and I mean real films, I mean to say, then it is converted into digital. And there are a lot of opportunities right now. There are a lot of new OTT platforms, online theaters are coming, and many people are I mean a lot of production houses, they are moving to online platform. So if you wanted to have that online platform, you need a lot of softwares. It should be web, mobile, or any other kind of platform. So there are a lot of industries that are completely converting into digital. So there are a lot of opportunities, and this is the right time. I think many of the people are moving their business to online. So, for IT, I think we don't need to worry much since there are a lot of opportunities, and we don't need more to worry. And some of you may come across with questions like there. We have seen some people have been fired, and there are a lot of layoffs in IT happens. Some of the key layoffs are happening because due to this bench strength, and some of the very senior people, like more than 20 years of people who are about to complete their tenure in the IT, and they are just moving towards the retirement phase. And I mean, in very key positions, people are getting that layoffs, but there is a very hot, and opportunities are there for people who are with experience of 2 to 10. These are the hot slide we say, and people who are having this kind of thing, there are abundant of opportunities. Okay, so first of all, you don't need to worry that how things are going. You don't need to worry about the future. Future is very safe, and the stakes are going very high at this moment. You know, all the like simple example, guys. 15-20 years ago, if you talk about top 10 Fortune companies in the world, you would say Walmart, British Petroleum, and a lot of companies from other domains, and the banking sector, and lot of other sector companies were leading the entire space. But if you go and Google what are the Fortune 10 companies, you will see the first company is Apple, second company is Microsoft, third is Google, Facebook, Amazon, and all these digital companies. So it is clearly certain that these are the IT companies are going to rule for next few years. So that's one of the clear assurance that you guys need to look into. So the future is very bright. So let's not worry about that, because since I have been hearing from a lot of people that how the recession has been going around, and I don't know what kind of opportunities that I get. Let's not worry about it. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to cover now, and I'll just quickly move to the other. Yeah, before getting into cloud, so first I think everybody need to understand why the transition is happening towards cloud. So do we really need to move to cloud? Do we need to learn cloud, and what is cloud? So before learning that topic, let's look into the current scenario, how the corporates enterprise IT infrastructure has been maintained. So once you get some understanding of what it is, then you will get a clear understanding of what is cloud, how you move towards the transition. So let me quickly present a quick. I just made a quick slide. So everybody can see my screen, right? If you can raise your hand, that would be sufficient.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Excellent. Thank you, guys. So let me share again. Unfortunately, I lost that. Okay. Okay. So typically, this is what the server room look like. This is what the corporate infrastructure look like. If you take any company of big scale, basically this is the Facebook's infrastructure. So any corporate infrastructures look like that, and every company, if you take any Fortune 500 or 1000 companies, you will see the similar infrastructure. So every company maintains their on-premise data center. This is called a data center. So data center contains servers, network, and WAN switches, all different types of infrastructure hardware. So one of the key biggest problem with this infrastructure is, so every company has to maintain the physical premise, on-premise infrastructure with a few IT people around, IT staff maintaining with power, electricity, space, and all these things. And at some point of time, what happened? There was, if you remember, there was in US. It is very prone that hurricanes, like similar kind of cyclones here, twisters. So sometime back, there is a very good company called Ameri Group, which is a health insurance company. They used to have a data center in Virginia Beach, so which is close to Virginia Beach, and they lost the data. I mean, due to the twister and cyclone kind of hurricane, they lost the entire data center because of that twister. I mean, everything shattered down. Do you know what? They lost all the data. They couldn't get it back. So even though maintain such a sophisticated infrastructure, there is no, I mean, it could happen. Catastrophe can be anything. It could be a tsunami, it could be a asteroid falling on the earth, or anything. It could be anything if you are not redundant. The redundant means you must be having two different places of data. Like example, W World Trade Center, right? So when the terrorist attacked that World Trade Center, we lost the entire building, but zero data was lost. Zero data, because they have the redundancy. Whatever the data they have redundancy. So they have to maintain whatever the data they have, whatever the infrastructure they have to copy paste the same thing in multiple locations. Otherwise, it would be very dangerous for them to sustain with one data center, because catastrophes can happen any point of time without knowledge. So all the corporates at this moment also, each and every corporate maintains the data centers similarly like this, and with some kind of topology. Topology means connecting across all different systems. So if you look into this basic architecture of a data center, it will be containing a lot of servers. It will be connecting with a LAN, WAN, wireless, mobile Wi-Fi, and everything is connected through their internet into their servers. And sometimes people connect through VPN. VPN nothing but a virtual private network where you connect through internet, but you will be connected to a very safe internal network called private virtual private network. So people used to connect their office premises using VPNs. So that is how most of the corporates they maintain a highly secured infrastructure with different kinds of topologies. So this is one topology, and I will let you know like how secure these systems are. So you may be seeing the end user system like this, but if you connect to the real data center, there are multiple firewalls that you need to cross. So if you want to connect to this specific, then you need to go through the SSL encryption. Then you need to check either validate your IP and ensure that your port is properly secured. Once you cross that, then you will go to authentication. Then once you are authenticated with your credentials, then you will be moving to authorization, verified with your basic role-based access. You call it as RBAC. So if you wanted to connect to this any kind of corporate infrastructure, you use a lot. So it is very difficult to maintain all this infrastructure in a single corporate with redundancy and seamless connection and connecting through VPNs. It has been highly uh, expensive to maintain all this stuff. So that's one of the reasons. So corporates are turning towards cloud. Okay, so that is where the journey starts. So why they are opting to cloud? Okay, so now we will see the real system. Why we are looking into cloud? So cloud is, I think you all very much know about what is cloud. So cloud is basically a direct gateway to a gateway from internet with a sophisticated infrastructure, whatever we have in the corporate, similar to corporate. So corporates, let's say, they have three servers, and if they let's say that there is a shopping let's say that Amazon wanted to make year-end shopping, some offer, something like that. And typically they have three servers, and if they have the data center, somebody raising. Hello. Somebody mute yours. All right. So I muted there. All right. So the biggest problem with the current system is, so let's say that you are having your own three servers in your system, and you wanted to scale it. What it means, like for example, your shopping mall needs to be I mean, shopping mall is having some offer to the customers, and I mean, typically what happens, if you buy a ticket on during normal time and Tatkal time, you will see there is a lot of lag and slowness in the system, because a lot of people jumps onto the system at a single point of time, and which will cause a lot of traffic, which will choke the servers. So at that point of time, you need to increase your servers. So if in a typical atmosphere, if you want to increase, means you need to buy the real-time servers and you need to fix it, and it's a lot of hassle. So there is a strong restriction saying that, okay, if you have three servers, you have to deal with three servers. You can't increase it. So there is a clear clear restriction of scaling up into the next level. So that is where a lot of corporates are restricting them to provide this kind of online sale, and because since they can't cater that many requests with a short period of time. But if you come into the cloud is quite agile. Agile means it's like any point of time it changes. So if you want to increase your servers to three servers to 10 servers in a single tip of your finger, because it has cloud has auto scaling option, where you whatever the system that you have, you can simply copy paste the same server multiple times. That is called the scaling. So scaling can be quite easier. And cloud redundancy system, there are three different systems called LRS, local redundancy system, GRS, zone redundancy system, ZRS. So what exactly these are? So if you look into any data center, so there will be one server which is storing all your data. For example, what happens when there is a sudden electrical shock, internal short circuit, and the access server got crashed, you lose all this data. So what they does is, for the same set of file, let's say that you have taken a picture, you uploaded it into cloud, and that same picture is copied into three places in the same data center, which means in one place your picture is going to be stored in three places. If there is a hazard have happened in the any of these servers, that immediately move back to the second server, because the first server has been crashed because of the short circuit, or whatever the unknown reason, server got crashed or something else. So it will move to the second one. It will move to the second server. Similar fashion, let's say that the tsunami has happened, or a catastrophe happened, or some unaware natural disaster happened. So what happens? So all three pictures would be wiped off. But cloud has a redundancy system saying that redundancy system, GRS, where the same copy will be saved in two locations. Let's say that one is in Chennai, other one is in US East Coast. So there was a tsunami happened, and if there was only one data center, you will lose all the data. Even there are three copies, you will lose your pictures. So that is the reason they keep the geo redundancy system. We will be having three copies here in this Chennai, where it was affected with the tsunami. Still, your data is safe in US East Coast. So that is where cloud has a lot of redundant system. Regardless of the location, it will be stored. So the key difference would be like it will be little slow if it is far away location, if it will be fast if it is anything close by location. So that is how the entire cloud works. There are a lot of other features with respect to security, with to the ease of access, and a lot of other things. We are planning to launch a course on the Azure cloud. We will give you more details about the course, and you will get complete understanding why you need cloud and what are the basic things you need to understand or you need to learn to master the cloud. So I will give you a quick overview of the platform. So what are the components that a cloud contains, and you all will be having different interests. Someone is very good at programming and logic, and some are very good at designing. Some are very good at data calculations, and some are very good at doing some EDI, electronic data interchange, where you convert the numbers into different graphs. So someone will be very interested or good at machine learning as well. So cloud is a big platform of lot of technologies. So we will, in a bit, we will be moving into a quick presentation where you will see what exactly the cloud, what it contains, and how exactly different components are being stitched. All right, let me. Can someone confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. So let me give you a quick brief about clouds. Like right now, there are three clouds. There are three key players that we can say. I mean, there are multiple players, but there are three key players who are ruling the entire cloud market. The very first one is Amazon. Amazon is like our Amazon that where we do a lot of online shopping. They came up with something called AWS, Amazon Web Services. These guys are very strong. Right now, they're having 57% of market share. Okay, the next one is Microsoft. Azure platform is nothing but Microsoft own cloud, which is called Azure. Okay, the next one is the GCP. GCP is nothing but Google Cloud Platform. And there are a few other small little guys, small players like Oracle, IBM, but none of them are really making a big stride on the market. So these are the three clay players, and if you learn one cloud, rest all are same. Like if you understand the concept of any one of these cloud, you can easily move to any of the clouds. It's something like a phone, right? So a touch phone. I mean, if you know how to handle a smartphone, it doesn't matter whether it is Android, iOS, or Symbian, and whatever the operating system it is. But you know how to use it. Basically, the jargon is different. If it is Apple, then you say App Store. If it is Android, you will say Play Store. So similarly, so if you are into Microsoft Azure, you will call certain machines as virtual machines. If you are in AWS, you say there's EC, elastic compute. That is what they call. So there will be a different jargon difference, but it's all same. So let me quickly give you a quick overview of Azure platform. All right. So cloud is kind of a very spectrum of services. It's a very big platform where it has a lot of different services. So let's not worry at this moment what exactly these services are in detail, but try to have a holistic understanding and a view of how exactly they are stitched together in this platform. So once you have the clarity, then you can connect your interest. Okay, so I'm very good at machine learning. I'm very interested at that. So from cloud, I can attend to that. And I'm very good at programming, and I like designing, and I like electronic data integration. So how can I move there? So we'll quickly look into those stuff here. All right, this is the big picture of the entire cloud. Hope everyone can see it. So yeah, there are a lot of components are integrated here. Let's not worry about any of the stuff. Just look into it. It has a kind of foundation with multiple layers of services. This is exactly the way how it's going to be in the real cloud. So there will be physical infrastructure. So whatever you look into the underlying foundation, these are the physical infrastructure. These are nothing but data centers, servers, and all. And on top of the physical infrastructure, there will be compute, there will be storage, and there will be networking. These are the fundamental components of the infrastructure. So on top of infrastructure, you will see the real software components. This is something like this. Like if you want to have a phone with apps, first you need to have your own device, which is nothing but a phone. And once you have a phone, then you need to have a proper configuration, which is nothing but a right processor, right storage, and you must be having net connected 4G, Wi-Fi, or whatever the services. Similarly, like that, you need to have a solid infrastructure. You need to have a solid compute storage and networking. On top of that, these are all the real platform services or kind of apps, how you install on your mobile and all the stuff. So why you need all this? For different services, we use different apps for shopping, for movies, for different kind of services. We use different apps. Similarly here, in terms of development, you will see all different kind of different services. Okay, so this is the underlying infrastructure data center. There are 26. Let me take you to another slide where what I mean to before getting into all these uh, sorry guys, I'm taking you to all that time. All right, this is what I wanted to show. So excuse me. So this is our entire world globe map. Okay, so do you see that a lot of dots across the world, right? These are all called different data centers. Okay, so right now Microsoft has 24 plus. This is a little old picture, so this is not the very latest one. There used to be 24 worldwide regions, and each region has the same data as like other regions. Okay, so if some catastrophe happens here in Chennai, you will be having a fallback disaster recovery image in East Coast. If something happens in the West Coast, you will have another fallback region called in West Europe, and this is in East Europe. So we have 24 similar kind of data centers across the world. If something happens in one region, it doesn't impact the system at all the data that you are not going to lose. As soon as you upload any of your data or picture into the cloud, Microsoft, your Android cloud, which is G Drive, or Microsoft Cloud OneDrive, and Apple Cloud is iCloud. So any of this cloud, it will store multiple regions based on the fallback mechanism. So Microsoft has total 24 regions. So whatever the data that you save, it will be saved in your parent region as well as a fallback region. So this is how the entire data centers has been spread across the world. Okay, so that is how infrastructure has been done. So as I was telling, compute. So these are the one of the core fundamental concepts in the cloud. So a cloud is almost same as what you have in your college or something in a local internet system, but it's in a very big scale. Let's say that your school or college has like 20 machines with internet switches, routers, everything. Cloud is like 100,000 machines like that in one region. Similarly, they are like having 24 regions across the world. So the very basic fundamental component is cloud is virtual machines. So right now we are having a physical machine, which is nothing but a laptop or desktop, anything like that. So in whatever you do, as soon as you boot it up, you will see a big picture of desktop and all. And virtual machine is similar to that, where you will be having multiple desktop in one machine. That is called a virtual. So we'll get into more details of that. You will see soon. Maybe Excelra will get back to you with details about what exactly the thing that you need to do in order to get understanding of details of all these different components. And there's some other concepts of containers. There are multiple containers, Docker, Kubernetes. So these are little advanced concepts. Once you get a proficiency on the basic cloud, then you can catch up to all these new technologies. So storage, if you look into the current storage, everything is stored as in blob. Azure blob is one of the storage foundations where everything, whatever the file that you say, it could be a movie file, it could be an image file, everything is stored in blob storage. So networking, so there are multiple levels of networking. You know the TCP layer, transfer control protocol. So everything is like a transport layer. So that within the transport layer, there are different kinds of networking. So there is express route. Express route, nothing but right now you are using ATM machines, right? So ATM machines that isn't connect to internet. They are having their dedicated line called express route. They are directly connected to data centers. That is one of the key reasons why you don't see hacking on banking systems because they all use laser lines. That is called express route. Similarly, there are a lot of other different networks, DNS, domain name servers. Whenever you type an website, you will see a lot of process happens in the beneath. Like you type some name of the website, it automatically convert into IP, it automatically moves to respective region, the server, website, and you will get a response in the HTML. Everything is taken care by DNS. Similarly, there are a lot of other concepts, and yeah, you'll get to know more about each of them. What is load balancer? What is traffic manager? Or why you need a VPN gateway, application gateway, what it is, how they really works in the real cloud, and how you need to use it, how you have to configure all this stuff. You will get to know. So authentication. So security is one of the key stuff in the cloud. So you will learn a lot of stuff on this security. So security is in multiple ways. Right now you are getting OTPs, right? So OTPs are nothing but multi-factor authentications. So how to enable this multi-factor authentication? How to set up the Active Directory? So all this will come under security and management. So Microsoft has its own identity services. It is called IAM. So in the IAM services, you will see a lot of details, how to configure it, how to create, if you create a website, how to enable the Active Directory services. So right now you guys are all logged in right now with a guest, but it's supposed to be you all join with a link. Without link also you can join with a single tap of an app. So that is called one single sign-on. Single sign-on. Using single sign-on, you can log into any number of applications without giving multiple username passwords. That is called a single sign-on. So you will learn a lot about security and management once you enroll this cloud computing. And there are a lot of other services as well, like backup. So as we were telling, disaster recovery, if something happens wrong at your service, and how to do a disaster recovery. What is the backup process? How do you do that? identity management using this privileged identity services. These all will come under hybrid operations. There is something like hybrid cloud, which is the integration of data center on premise as well as the cloud, which is called hybrid cloud. So there is a lot of data on your local data center or local computer, but you wanted to have both here and the cloud, then you need to have an express road between these two. That is called site-to-site tunnel. So using that site-to-site tunnel, you will get all your data backed up in the cloud. So using cloud hybrid operations, you can do all this stuff. And integrations. I was mentioning, like I'm sure, pretty sure that you guys are not quite aware of the integrations. There are a hell number of integrations that are happening beneath. Every company maintains a particular pro forma of their company details. Let's say that if you are using Paytm or any bank, you'll see tens of banks are registered out there, right? So if you do Paytm, you integrate Beam UPI, and you may be having Axis Bank, ICICI Bank. So whatever the details in the bank, you can see it in Paytm, GPay, Google, everywhere, PhonePe, everywhere. How it is happening? That is called EDI integration, data integration. Using this data integration services, every corporate follows certain ISO standards of data protocol. In that protocol, they have to follow certain standards. So this integration maintains that protocol. If there is a new bank is coming up, Yes Bank or some other bank, they don't need to create some complete new system. Paytm just understands that what protocol they follow. If they understand the pro forma of that data, that can be easily integrated. So all these systems follow certain protocol. So we know only payment gateway of different banks, but if you look into the corporates, there are lot of data. So inventory, customer relationship, and lot of other data that all has to be integrated one system with another system. So using Distock services and Logic Apps, you will see how to do that integration services. And median CDN, I think you all must be aware of this. So right now, you see the YouTube, right? So YouTube, whenever you connect with mobile, you will get less resolution. When you connect with the TV, you will get better resolution. If you're on a laptop with high speed, you'll get different resolution. So how it happens? So these media services are the servers. They are beneath the controlling the video streaming, content delivery, everything using these CDN services. So there are a lot of internal mechanisms. So once you understand the fundamentals of the cloud, then based on your interest, you can get into depth the detail of each and every one of these services, and you can become a proficient in specific technology, median CDN or integration, identity, a lot of the things. We will get to there as well. So IoT and analytics, a lot of people are talking about big data, machine learning, and mobile engagement. So IoT and analytics, everything comes under this specific arena where they have different components called HD Insights, Data Factory, Stream Analytics. So there is a lot of market of this specific tool. So if you have any apprehensions on this, go to naukri.com. So you can find that Azure Analytics or Azure Identity. You type the stream, and you will see the number of opportunities. There are a huge number of opportunities from ranging from 2 years to 10 years. So you'll see there are a lot of opportunities. Still, there is a lot of skill lacking in the market. So that is one of the key reasons we are trying to set up some of these webinars to ensure that that skill gap has been removed. And this is one of the most and common used data stream, SQL database. We call it a SQL database. There are multiple different kind of database systems available: Redis Cache, DynamoDB, DocumentDB. So it's an ocean. Though it looked like a very small thing with 6 icons, no, it's a very, very big subject itself. So right now, how is cloud is connected to this subject? So you'll get to know more details in the following course. And as we discussed, compute, this is one more additional layer of typical compute. So if you wanted to increase your computes to multiple levels, scale it to next level, then you need to have a cloud services, and where you need to ensure that service fabric has been enabled, which automatically multiplies the systems to 2 to 10. That means like whenever there is a shopping a festival is happening, and 2 servers may not be sufficient, where you need to have a 10 servers, and this is the area where you can ensure the you cater all the requests from the customers by scaling it to 2 to 10. And development services, I'm sure many of you about .NET, Java, and all Python, all this programming, right? It's a very small slide, but it has a lot in it. And based on your interest, you can choose. Visual Studio is one of the key IDE, integrated integration development environment, where you can develop lot of development services. If you look into the current entire stretch of the cloud, there are a lot of opportunities on two different stuff. One is on developer services, the other one is data analytics and IoT, and machine learning also comes under that. Okay, so let's go to, I mean, this is more detailed about services. So when we look into development services, it's like websites, mobile sites, and integration services. All right, so I keep talking, I know. I never give a chance to give questions, but in few minutes, I will open a Q&A. So you all guys will get a chance to talk or ask. So keep your questions in the vault for some time, and once I open the Q&A, you guys can jump back and come up with all your questions. Okay, so don't worry about now. Keep everything with you for some time. So there, as I was telling you, development services, there are a lot of different types of development: web development, mobile development, and Power App development, API apps, logic apps. So I mean, let me give you some more details. So cloud platform is a kind of a very vast. You don't need to know each and everything of the cloud, but all of you must familiar with the fundamentals of the cloud. Once you are done with fundamentals, now you are in a good shape to understand where you belongs to. Do you belongs to development, or do you belongs to mobile? Do you belongs to app design, analytics, machine learning? So you will get a clear picture. So you can choose your own professional path. Okay, this is where I like the design. Okay, I like the development. I like the mobile apps. So whatever you want, you can choose from here once you understand the entire platform. Okay, so I will give you a clear path on the career path. Let's not worry at this moment, and I will give you a complete details about uh, where the stream starts and how you have to kickstart your journey career if you are interested in certain aspects. Okay, so web development is completely a different segment. Mobile is different. Logic apps is nothing but integration of multiple softwares. Okay, so that's the basis of everything. Yeah, same. If you look into architecture, so apps are the basic fundamentals for any web, logic, or mobile apps. So you must through with API apps, then only you can write any of them. And I'm just giving a quite high level scenario how exactly the system works. So it could be a mobile, web, tab, or anything. Everything talks to a REST API. There will be internal sync. Everything is connected to a database, and identity management. That is nothing but user authentication will be done. And any kind of mobile apps must have a PNS handle. push network handle is what it automatically connects to different kind of notification center. Every time whenever you see a WhatsApp notification or mobile notification, these are the push notifications beneath how it works. Okay, so it will be too much for you at this moment. Once you have a complete clarity on cloud, then we can quickly. So this is anything of logic app flow. So I will give a high level overview what exactly it is. So whenever you receive an email or with an attachment, so you want to save manually, what how you do, you download the file, you copy it into a specific folder. So there is some automation flow, logic flow. You can say that whenever there is a mail, save it to some place or send it to my Twilio connector, which is nothing but SMS service, or send it to my Twitter. So you have everything at predefined connectors. Using that connectors, you can automate everything. So this is a basic automation tool. All right, so that's all from my side. And let me quickly give you another presentation about the career path, so you guys understand before you come up with the questions. All right, so far I have mentored more than 300 students, and that's my interest level. So I have my own website called leadazure.com. If you go to the website, you will see a lot of details about the career path. All this information can be found out there. So uh, um, I do mentor a lot of students and employees with some experience, 3 to 5 years of experience, where they are unable to understand which way they have to go. So I do a lot of mentoring to them and understand that I provide career guidance, which way they have to go. So any one of you, before you start your career, one thing you need to do is you need to have a clear understanding of fundamentals. It could be any Azure, AWS, GCP, doesn't matter. Everything is same with a different jargon difference. Some technical terms will be different, but rest all the same. Here we call it as ACS, Azure Cloud Services. In AWS, you say VPC, Virtual Cloud Services, something like that. So there is nothing different, but all are same. It is just a jargon. So you need to understand like basic cloud fundamentals. Once you have the clear understanding of cloud fundamentals, based on your interest, you can choose your own proficiency. Let's say that simple example, right? So till class 10, everybody study all the subjects. Languages you study physics, you study chemistry, uh, you study maths, everything. But after completing class 10, you will be choosing to specific stream. Oh, I wanted to do MPC, I wanted to do medicine, or BPC, I wanted to do art, CEC. So there are a lot of streams based on your understanding or based on your interest. You will choose the respective stream. Again, next once you cross that stream, again you will go to engineering, IIT, or graduation, or any kind of stuff. Again, you will choose. Within that also you will choose. Okay, I want to do mechanical. I want to do chemical, or you want electrical, computer science. So again, once you have the fundamentals, then you can choose. You will get that jnana of wisdom of choosing the right path in your career. Here we are trying to do the same. Once you get the complete fundamentals, then there are a lot of different areas where you can choose. This is the real infrastructure. So once you are done with all fundamentals, you can get into the infrastructure where it works. You wanted to scale the systems, as we discussed. If you want to increase the website capability of acquiring more customers, and how to do an automation, everything comes under infrastructure. That is one kind of one stream of profession. And another stream is data integration. I was mentioning, right, like if you are creating, if you are making corporate to enable to accept the data to any number of uh, any number of different systems, and the data integration is one of the key. So service bus, BizTalk, event hubs, all this will come into picture when it comes to data integration. Data integration is also one of the complete different stream, like how MPC, computer science, and one in computer science you'll have Java development, something very niche technology proficiency. This is one of that. So guys, I'm getting some of the questions. Let's not worry. Just we are about to close it in another few minutes. Then I will get back to you. Okay, let's not worry about right away. So data analytics. I'm sure that many of you are completely aware of this. Lot of data, machine learning, and visual reporting, loading. All this comes under data analytics. So if you're really good at SQL or working with them, this is the stream that you guys need to move on. All right, so then web programming, this is where .NET, Java, Python, everything, Django, everything comes under. This is one of the huge pie in the market.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Just tell where data is stored in cloud technology.
There is a Q&A, question and answers at the end of this session. Definitely, I will get back to you that. Just hold for a couple of minutes. So I see that. So we are in the middle of the session. Let's complete this. Then everybody understands what exactly it is. Okay. By the way, good name, please. All right. Let's continue on this. And machine learning. This is an exclusive subject where you have this is a completely different subject where you need to work as a data scientist. You need to understand the data and everything, different algorithms, see how exactly they munch the data and get back all the patterns, and see how the different neural network analyzes the data, get back all this result. This is interesting. All right, I'm done with this. I think it's we are exactly on time. Let's move forward to Q&A. And somebody was asking about how exactly we store the data. So that is one of the question, right? Okay. Let me catch that. So as I was telling, cloud, there is multiple things called compute, storage, network, and internal authentication mechanism, IAM, and all the stuff. Storage basically stored in blobs. If you look into Microsoft storage, it is called as blobs. If you look into AWS, it is called S3 bucket. And if you look into Oracle, it is called as OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Everybody can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is big silence. Okay, I'm trying to get something is frozen here. Let me quickly join from my mobile. See the questions. Unable to see it on my laptop. Okay, I'm having trouble checking this. So yeah, somebody has a question. Yeah, you can go ahead and ping, you can straight away ask me here. One at a time.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
My question is, what are the security features that is offered by Azure that stands out or is different from its contenders?
So as I was telling you, So the security is basically same as across all these different kind of cloud. So if you look into identity management is the one of the key security feature, and there is a traffic manager is another key security feature, and the API management is another key security feature, and firewall mechanism. If it is web, which is called WAF, the web application firewall. So different levels of security is there across all the systems. So right now everybody is following this something called WASP. So WASP is a open standard web security protocols, and everybody in the market they follows. So there is not really much difference in terms of cloud, because everyone follows the similar kind of identity management. So identity management, there are multiple levels of security. As I was showing you, the initial securities comes from SSL. So SSL is security socket layer. Security socket layer is common. Whenever you try to hit any website with authentication, you will be having SSL certification enabled. So that and kind of encryption is being followed across all these different clouds. So everyone have a similar kind of security mechanism. The key differentiator is the products. Within the products, do they have multiple security? Let's say that multi-factor authentication. If you are trying to connect to a site with a single sign-on, or you are trying to authenticate with any kind of credentials, if you usually just do with typical authentication username password, that is one level of security where it may not be sufficient. But if you look into many of the applications, they make it multi-factor. After you log in, they will ask you for a kind of OTP kind of authentication, that is called multi-factor, and which is enabled by both AWS and Azure. But when compared with other, as I was telling you, these three countries are following all the security measures, and Oracle is little behind that. Maybe that is what you're trying to understand here. Oracle, which is nothing but OCI, which is with less security standard. Because so in Microsoft there is something called app authenticator. So you don't want to provide the OTP or authentication every time. Whatever you do is you just log in with your username. So whatever the device that you enroll with that, there is something called app authenticator. You will get a notification every time you log in. So that notification you have to approve on your mobile. Then only you will able to log in. So this kind of security mechanism is not available IBM Bluemix or OCI. So they are not that secure, unlike Microsoft or Google. I could say AWS, Google, Microsoft, they are very strong in security. But rest of the guys, Bluemix, IBM Bluemix or OCI and Alibaba, they are little behind in the game right now.
Thank you, sir.
No, welcome. Okay, so someone asking about storage. Did I answer your question? Do you have more questions on that? Any other questions? Somebody wrote a question, just trying to read here. So my machine is frozen a little bit. I'm unable to read the chat right now. If anybody can ask any other questions on the chat, would be great. Okay, so normally Facebook, Google, etc. are using data centers with a huge hard disk. Now in cloud technology, where are the data? Still they are in the cloud data centers, which are nothing but whatever the areas where they were storing, they will be still stored in the same data centers. The difference is they will be stored in multiple data centers, not with one data center. That is where it is one of the key differentiator. So if you take some local company or any of the local store, so you would be storing the data within that computer or within the server in that premises. You don't get data stored in somewhere else. But if it is cloud, your data will be stored in 3 areas, as I was mentioning you: local redundancy system, geo redundancy system, and zone redundancy system. So all these data saved in the same data centers, but all the data centers are interconnected. That is called cloud. So this data center is multiple data centers connected together is called cloud. And you going to say there is still use of hard disk. Exactly. So right now the technologies are changing every day. So earlier it used to be physical round cylindrical hard disk. Now they called as SSDs. Like how we are doing using the USBs. Now they change it to SSDs. Still they store in the real-time hard disks and SSDs. There is nothing else different, but they're all connected strongly together, where the system integration is quite easy. That okay, the same file, where it is, where is the backup of this file? Okay, so it is there in the east coast data center number 2, third rack, fourth quadrant, and second hard disk, some sector of that hard disk where you will see the data. Sounds good. Thank you. I'm glad to answer your question. Yeah, still the infrastructure is not going to change. So one of the key, cloud, you can see that same data center, everything is interconnected, and the cloud is a kind of an operating system which talks to all these data center, understanding of the redundancy. Somebody is unmuted. So any question? All right, so that's all from my side. So if you guys have more questions, feel free to reach me. Maybe Accelera will get back to you with required details with respect to the contacts. So never mind, try to reach me any point of time. I'm always happy to answer any of your guys' questions. Oh, you're most welcome, CK. So yeah, you guys open to reach Accelera for any further clarification. I'm stopping the recording. My machine is frozen. Like, sorry, I'm unable to read it, but I'm trying to take some of these messages from Manuel. All right, thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Thanks for your enthusiasm and understanding the technology. And there is a lot of future for people who are around in this technologies. So keep learning and start getting somewhere. Feedback on Excel. Yeah, Accelera will provide you a feedback link. Maybe you guys can fill in that. Accelera, could you please drop some feedback links?
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, please go ahead.
So what is this campus collaboration program? So could you please explain it?
Okay. So a very good question, man. So I was about to say that, but unfortunately something missed in my mind. So what I was thinking, like, so since I'm one of the key management person in my company, and I have very good contacts in the market, so I was planning to train at least few people, and I wanted to see some of them into my company as well. So people who are trained under me will be placed in one of the company called Meraki Technologies, where they were looking for some